Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our National Mentoring Day webinar. As I said, this is going to be a short, sharp session, really celebrating the power of mentoring and why it is so important to the Talent Tap as part of our programme. Laura's actually running the slide, so I'm going to have to keep asking Laura to change the slide. So Laura, can you just move on to the next slide, please? So mentoring for us at the Talent Tap is establishing the difference between having a goal and having a plan. And for all our students, they come on our scheme because they have drive, they have determination, they do know where they want to be in life, maybe not exactly what they want to do, but where they want to try and get to, but they don't often have a plan of how to get there. And sometimes from the position of where they live or their family backgrounds or their school environment, they might not have the people around them that can support them and give them the knowledge and expertise that can help them to make this plan to get ahead. So we use our mentoring scheme to establish that difference and move from having a goal to having a plan, and then hopefully helping our students to get ahead in the future. Next slide, please, Laura. So the Talent Tap runs for 4 years. It runs from when students leave school at year 13 all the way through higher education. And in that time, we give students 2-week work experience opportunities, bringing them to London or to Manchester to go into a workplace and really get a feel of what work is like, to network and to meet people, and also to try lots of different things to broaden their horizons and get great CVs so they can get ahead. We do work with them throughout the year as well, but we can't have that one-to-one contact that we get when they're with us for the summer 2 weeks. And so that's where a mentor comes in. A mentor comes in to be that contact and to guide and support in the time that we as a small team can't do that. So every student that can come on our scheme after the age of 18 has access to a mentor. And then we really hope that through that mentoring, they can develop really rewarding long-term relationships, and that the mentor can be a guide and a support to help them through their time in the Talent Tap and then on beyond. Next slide, please, Laura. So how we look at a mentor is what you would do as a mentor is you really actively help to shape a person's future. And you don't have to have any different skills. All you need to do is use your own experience. You need to listen to your mentee and to say back what they say in a way that can get them to understand where they might want to go. You also help to enhance your own communication skills. And it really, we see time and time again that mentoring increases motivation and confidence in mentees, and also allows them to learn fully new perspectives, because it's not just your perspective, but from them talking as well, you might tap into other friends, colleagues, your own network, and bring them in as well to find further perspectives that really can help your mentor. Next slide, please, Laura. So, and these are a couple of quotes from our mentees. My mentor has helped me to see what my career could be. It's given me advice that is relevant to my goals. It is so important to understand what a job entails, and I'm fully able to strive for it and to meet potential. So that relationship with mentee is someone that's is explained what the job's like, what a working environment is, and how if they wanted to be a specific kind of job role, then what they would need to entail it. But then on the other side, mentoring is a fantastic opportunity to develop a friendship, somebody that really has your back. So you can look at mentoring as something that is really career progression, understanding the job market, but it might just be another pair of ears, a helping hand, someone that can just be there for you if there aren't other people in that environment, somebody that has experience as well, when that is really important. So we have some amazing mentor-mentee relationships here today. I should have introduced them at the beginning, but if we just stop sharing our screens now and introduce Sunil and Hanan to you.
So Sunil and Hanan are with us today, along with another mentee and mentor pair, to share their experiences. Before we get into some questions, Hanan, do you want to quickly introduce yourself and tell everyone where you're at in your career journey and your education?
Yeah, so hi guys, lovely to meet you all. My name's Hanan. I joined the Talent Tap program a few years ago. So I was at the Wellington Academy then. So I'll just give a brief background information on me. So I went to the Weddington Academy for sixth form. I then went to the University of Leeds to study law. And last year I graduated with a 2-1. I then went on to the University of Law at the moment, which I'm currently studying my LPC and LLM. And I am also currently a paralegal at Vodafone in the legal team. So prior to that, I was at Eversheds and I was in the litigation and dispute management sector. And then I've recently only moved to Vodafone, which I'm currently really enjoying my role. So that's just a brief background on me.
Amazing. Thank you, Hanan. And Hanan, your mentor is currently with us today, Sunil. Sunil, do you want to introduce yourself quickly as well and tell everyone a little bit about how long you've been mentoring Hanan for?
Hi, everybody. So my name is Shari. I am, as well as being on the board of trustees of the Talent Tap, I started my journey here as being a mentor to Hanan. A little bit of background about myself. I also studied at the University of Leeds and did the now very superfluous degree of European Union Studies with law. So there's a bit of symbiosis with me and Hanan there. In my current role, I'm the head of strategy and marketing for FTI Consulting, which is a Talent Tap partner for the Middle East, which you can see all of the Middle East in my view, just there. In terms of how long I mentored Hanan for, me and Hanan had, I think we did 12 sessions over about 16, 17 weeks. So yeah, that's a little background about me, and it's lovely to see Hanan here today. And I can talk a little bit about how Hanan started off and how she is now. It's a genuine pleasure to see her here.
Well, that's amazing to hear. Hanan, before you started your kind of mentoring relationship with Sunil, what were your preconceptions of mentoring?
So before I started, I mean, when I first got the the email saying there's a mentoring, I already had a mentor in university, and I thought it would be a great opportunity to take. So initially, I took on the mentoring program, and I went on, and Sunil was amazing. So initially, a mentoring is a chance to speak to your mentor, to gain skills, to grow your skills, to make better decisions, to gain new perspective in life. And if you have any issues, any concerns, you can always go back to your mentor, speak to him about it, and gain actually professional advice before you take any decisions. So throughout the mentoring process, you start to build your relationship with your mentor, a trusting relationship with your mentor, and it also helps encourage to identify any issues, any concerns in your career goals, and to try and solve the issues.
Definitely, yeah. And Sunil, what about yourself? Did you have any preconceptions of mentoring before you started? Did you have a mentor before you started mentoring Hanan?
So we have in the professional field, we have coaches who guide you and career mentors. In terms of when I was a significantly younger person with more hair, that wasn't something that I was afforded, unfortunately. So my preconceptions of mentoring have come from a professional background as opposed to an academic one, which is, I think it's beneficial because professional mentors and sort of how I try to mentor Hanan was very much focused on goals and achieving career aspirations, but importantly as well is developing, it's really about developing confidence and it was about giving someone a platform or a foundation to build on moving forward. So those are my preconceptions of mentoring.
And following on from that then, so you wanted to help her develop her confidence and kind of build on things, but how did you structure that? So how did you structure the program and your calls with Hanan?
Yeah, absolutely. There's an element of serendipity, right, in mine and Hanan's relationship, right? So we both went to the University of Leeds, we both studied law. She had aspirations of working in the legal world. I worked in the legal world prior to being in consulting for about close to a decade, feels probably longer. So the structure of the program was I initially met Hanan and we worked out some goals of hers. If I remember correctly, Hanan was looking to get into a law school, get into working in more law firms. She wanted to finish her dissertation, which I remember, working with her on and giving her some guidance on that as well. So we worked out some goals at the start, but one of the really important elements was network. So I then went away, tapped into my network and found some people who were specific to Hanan's career goals, specifically female lawyers from around the world that I knew. And there was a wonderful symbiosis with one of my friends who works for one of Canada's top law firms. She's also of the same cultural descent as Hanan. So that worked out really well as well. So we structured it in terms of we would do an Ask Me Anything session with my lawyer friends, 2 from London, 1 from Dubai, 1 from Canada. And then Hanan would prepare for those sessions. And then afterwards I would teach her some skills as well that lawyers would need, such as making track changes in Word and using the review function, which is probably her life now as a paralegal. And then looking at how we looked at training contract interview skills as well. So there was a full gamut across the 12 weeks, from minutiae to like the larger picture as well.
And I can guess that this is a bit of an endless list, and Hanan, I'll ask you to answer this first, but what did you personally gain from the experience? What do you think were the real highlights for you?
I think the main skill is self-confidence. That's what I've gained throughout my experience in the mentoring program. I feel like when I first started, I didn't have that much confidence in what I wanted to do, and if I was able to achieve what I've achieved so far. So, having a mentor and, having someone to actually believe in your goals was something that helped me drastically. So yeah, it gave me a chance to actually gain my self-confidence. It gave me a chance to actually believe in myself and say, I can achieve this, so I will. I think that's the main skill.
Amazing. And Sunil, what about you? What did you gain from the experience being Hanan's mentor?
I think that there's an element of when you're sort of late in the latter, I'm in the latter stages of my career, but I've achieved quite a lot in my career, and now it's got to a point of what can I give back, and I felt as though the mentoring scheme, I got an email from work and it was like, do you want to be a mentor? I was like, I think I can offer quite a lot to a young individual, and it's that element of helping someone and that sort of philanthropical element as well, where I really felt as though I was doing something for the greater good. A lot of what we do in our lives is, based around our own personal ambitions, but then being able to help someone with their ambitions, it was one of the most rewarding things I've done actually in my career. And then it gave me a platform to build on my subsequent ambitions in the charitable sector, and I now work, intrinsically with the Talent Tap. I'm on the board of trustees. I get to do amazing webinars like this one and be an integral part of something that is becoming more closer and dearer to me as I work with the charity. So personal gain is great, but helping others is just amazing. An amazing feeling, and it's demonstrable in just watching Hanan today. You see a massive smile on my face because she's got such polish and she's become she's matured so much even in a short space of time. It's amazing to see.
Hanan, then last question for you. What would you say to anyone else who is considering becoming a mentee and finding a mentor? What would you say to them?
I would say it's probably the best opportunity a person can take. So if you have a chance to become to have a mentor and to be mentored throughout your career goals, you should take it, because it can open doors you never know even existed. So, it's a chance to actually speak to someone, it's a chance to gain confidence, it's a chance to speak about any issue, any concerns, to progress, to have step-by-step progression to your end plan. So it's a chance that anyone should take.
Amazing. So Neil and Hanan, thank you so much for that. We're lucky enough to have a second mentor-mentee pairing with us today to answer the same questions, Shauna and Lottie. Lottie, do you want to quickly introduce yourself and tell everyone a little bit about where you're at in your education?
Hi. Yeah, so I'm Lottie. I'm in my first year of university at the moment. I've just come up from All Saints Academy from Cheltenham, and I'm studying psychology at the University of Plymouth.
Amazing, thank you, Lottie. And Shauna's your mentor, Lottie. Shauna, do you want to introduce yourself and tell everyone a little bit about how long you've been mentoring Lottie for?
Yeah, so my name's Shauna. Similar to Sunil, I work at FTI Consulting, where the Talent Hub approached me to be a mentor. Me and Lottie have been mentoring for a couple of months now. I think we started at the beginning of summer. So our relationship is still ongoing at the minute, so probably keep going on till the start of next year.
Amazing. And Shauna, before you started mentoring Lottie, what were your preconceptions of mentoring?
So again, quite similar to Sunil, my preconceptions were in a professional manner. At school, I don't really remember having too many mentors that were having such intimate sessions like the ones that the Talent Hub offers. At university, we would have a tutor, but really that would just be mainly on your dissertation or reportings, things like that. So really when I joined FTI Consulting and started working in the professional corporate world, I started to understand what mentoring is, and having mentors around me really helped me gain that experience to join Talent Hub and offer it to Lottie.
Amazing. And Lottie, what about you? Did you have any preconceptions of mentoring before you signed up to the Talent Hub's program?
Well, email, kind of like scrolling through, trying to get a good idea of what it was. At my school, we didn't really have anything like that, apart from really a tutor group, and that was mainly just like helping out with like coursework or something. So I didn't have a lot of preconceptions at the start, and then I looked through it and I thought what a great opportunity it was to gain some skills, gain some confidence, and actually build a closer relationship than I did with any of my tutors or my teachers in school.
And Shauna, we had conversations on this at the beginning, but how did you go about structuring the programme and the calls for Lottie? Because obviously, Lottie, you're younger than Hanan was when she started on this process.
Yeah, that's a good question. So a couple of our first intro sessions was really just getting to know each other, just understanding Lottie's goals, what she wants to get out of the mentorship. We have a check-in every month, but obviously it's flexible, we can change it if needed. And I started to create a timetable of what we want to achieve in each session, a couple of things that that will provide tangible evidence to Lottie's goals and what she wants to get out of it. So at the end, we can actually see a structure to our sessions and then the results at the end. And then I've been using Guider to input the sessions to keep it structured, as well as me writing up my notes from our sessions with Lottie. I use Guider to ensure it's in a more readable format, a bit better than my messy scribbles on an Excel.
And Lottie, what do you think you've gained from the experience so far? Obviously, it's still ongoing, but what do you think the main things are that you've taken away from it so far?
Well, so far, I've just gained so much more confidence. When I'm speaking to people, I've gained more confidence in my work and my CV building and everything else that we've been working on. And I feel like me and Shauna have taken the time to really get to know each other, and I think that's really helped us like be mentees in a good way. Like,
glad to hear it. And Shauna, then, last question, what would you say to someone else who was considering becoming a mentor with the Talent Hub?
Yeah, absolutely, go for it. You've nothing to lose, you've only things to gain, I think, and I think that's the goal of Talent Hub, is to only gain, right? So you have nothing to lose. I've been enjoying my time with Lottie. We still have, as I mentioned, we still have our ongoing mentorship going on. So yeah, every session's been good and it can only get really better, I guess.
Well, amazing. Sunil, Hanan, Lottie and Shauna, thank you so much for sharing that with us today. I massively appreciate it. Naomi, I'll hand back to you.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you. If you just want to move on the screen a little bit. So obviously mentors may feel it still might be a bit daunting for you. As we said about mentoring, it really is about using your own experience and yourself just to listen and to guide and to support a mentee. But we are aware as well that it still might be quite daunting when you first say, well, I'm going to mentor, where do I begin? So we want to make sure that we have things in place to allow you to get a structure and to feel confident as a mentor that you will be delivering the impact that you so want to do. There's no like pre-work to be done, but to have a structure will really help you. So we've been running these mentoring now for 2 years. The first year that we started it, it was very much Heath Robinson. We did it ourselves using Calendly and Zoom Meets, and it worked really well. And that's when Hanan and Sunil met, which was great. But we realized as we expand as an organization and want to give every single student that comes through us the opportunity to have a mentor, this is not something that we can hold without a platform in place. And the platform, obviously, we chose as Guider, and we have been we really enjoyed working with them. And as I said, Kate is on this webinar and able to answer any questions after I finish speaking, which will be very soon. But we also, so Guider give a lot of help. There's a lot of there's a library of information that you can log into to support you to structure your sessions. But we want to make sure that this year more than ever, when we're to embark on our next stage of mentoring for people, that we support more as well. So we will do an induction Zoominar for all new mentors and mentees when they arrive with us. We will obviously introduce you to the Guider library, but we are going to create a mentor-mentee handbook that mentors can always refer back to, that will give you tips on how to structure a session. Like Shauna was saying, I mean, obviously, Shauna, you said you have your Excel spreadsheet and really thought about this and how you can make sure that you hit your goals. So we want to give you some templates to allow you to do this. So it becomes a lot easier to be a mentor. That we will run monthly or bi-monthly drop-in clinics. So if anyone has any questions, they can get hold of us and ask us where they should go in certain situations. And we will also train the mentees, because as Lottie said, there aren't very many preconceptions of being a mentee, because it's not something that you get at school. At university, yes, like Hanan, there is mentoring available. But when you're 18, schools aren't really doing mentoring. It's something that charities give, and then maybe universities. So if we can train our mentees on what we expect from them also, that's really important. We put a lot of onus onto our mentees to choose a mentor, to book the sessions, to make sure they are prepared for the sessions, because as a mentor, you are giving a lot of your valuable time. We want to make sure that they really do understand this as they go into it. And as I said, we will create a goal setting template that you can use as well. Now, there's a long life cycle of the Talent App. We're not just a one-hit wonder, that people don't come to us for 2 weeks and that's it. We work with people and develop them for over multiple years, from leaving school at 18, or actually before we start with them in year 12, all the way through to higher education, and then beyond. We have a really buoyant alumni network, which still work together and network with each other and often use each other in supporting getting jobs as well. So the difference between a school leaver and somebody who's graduating is very big. So when you're mentoring and when you're signing up to mentor, have a think about which stage you might like to focus on, whether it's the kind of school leaver stage when you are going to be more of a figure to give confidence, to support maybe on their first foray into the Talent App. So if people are leaving school and coming straight to London for 2 weeks or Manchester for 2 weeks, there's a lot of nerves, there's a feeling of imposter syndrome. Some people have never even been to London before. So there you are somebody who's supporting, saying what it was like for your first day at work, what they should do to get ahead, how they should make the most of the situation. And that is really a safe pair of hands and an extra pair of ears. As people move through university, their goals will be changing. And by the time you're getting into second year of university, you might be wanting to do an internship. You might be therefore having to do application forms for internships, getting your CV together. Or you might be wanting, when you're graduating, you might be looking at graduate roles, doing personal statements, filling in forms. So as a mentor, you could be with somebody through all of these stages, or you could dip into one stage of someone's career that you think their time with us that you think you would give them the most help with. So we'd love you to have a think about that, and maybe when you're signing up you can put that in it. You can look for mentors or mentees that you could benefit from your experience there. Does anybody on the call have any questions that you'd like to ask us? Can we be a mentor if we are part of a grad scheme currently? Absolutely. In fact, it's brilliant if you're part of a grad scheme, because you will have first-hand experience of what a lot of the mentees are going to be needing. So you can give all that experience of how you got onto a grad scheme to support a mentee. You don't have to be like top of your career. You really can be at the start of it, and you still have that shared knowledge that will be really, really useful to our mentees. And as Caroline asked, no previous experience is needed at all.
I think it'd be great for us to kind of diversify the mentors that we have on offer for our students. They constantly want to learn new things, and it'd be great to see as many people as possible sign up in the new year, as Naomi said. We'll be putting a big push with all the new students we've brought on, so all of those school leavers who want to join the scheme now, they'll all be joining in January, and it'd be great to have you all on board.
Kate, I'm just going to put you on the spot. But is there anything you'd like to say about, the relationship with the Talent Tap, or how you will be supporting us moving into the new year?
Thanks for that, Naomi. No, just to say, so thank you for being here. I just want to also just say it was really nice to hear the stories that were shared, just to echo sort of the way that those ratios have been structured and the outcome. I mean, that's why we're all here and we do what we do. So that is very sort of warming to me, and I'm definitely going to pass it over to the team at Guida, because obviously it's fantastic we're able to sort of help facilitate that. And then I guess moving into the new year, of course we're always on hand to support you with any sort of resources that you may need, any tips and tricks for either technical elements of the platform or just mentoring in general. So on the Guida website, there's our little button in the bottom, and you can just reach out. You can ask me directly, just say, hey, can I speak to Kate? And we can point you in the right direction, help you every way we can.
Okay, well, I'd like to say thank you so much to all our panelists today. Thank you for giving your time, and everybody that joined the webinar session. Please do go out and tell your colleagues and also friends, as Laura says, so that we can diversify our mentees on our platform as well. We would really, really appreciate that. And have a great rest of National Mentoring Day. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you again. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, both.
Bye.
Bye.